In the name of Allah, the Beneficent and Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, most merciful Master of the day of judgment in which we now live. Thee alone do we serve, and Thee alone do we seek for help. Guide us on the straight path, the path of those upon whom Thou hast bestowed favors, not of those upon whom wrath is brought down, nor of those who go astray. We thank you all. And as we go along, you'll learn that that's one of the most important things that we have to do on a regular basis. Whether you do it in the manner that I just did, or you speak directly to God, because you can. We want to always seek His guidance and assistance in all that we do. And so, as I said, we just wanted to share a few words with you all, because whether you know it or not, you all are the most important ones in this room. My job and my mission is to help lay a foundation so that you all can take it even further. And, I don't know how you feel about yourself or where you see yourself going into the future, but your future is bright. It's bright. I know one of the brothers back there said he's going to school. He don't want me to say nothing about it, but he's going to school. He's playing soccer. I said, man, you're trying to get you a scholarship. I don't know what some of our other youth are doing, but don't count yourself short. Okay? And so today, we have a brother with us. How many of you all have heard of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? Raise your hand. How many of you have heard of Malcolm X? Raise your hand. Okay. That's Malcolm X times 10. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And our brother here that's with us today is his national assistant. And he helps the minister all over the nation, particularly with our youth. And so I hope that you all will open up your hearts, open up your minds, and as he speaks to you, I want you to keep in mind what I said earlier. You all are the most important ones here because you represent our future. And so I won't belabor the point. At this time, I'm going to ask my big brother to come and share a few words. And as I said, I hope that we will open up our hearts and open up our minds and listen to our brother, okay? Everybody okay with that? Oh, praise God. At this time, let's bring our brother, Mr. Ishmael Muhamad. Thank you.
Dear brothers and sisters, first, we want to give thanks to God. As Muslims, we refer to Him by His proper name, Allah, which is Arabic. Arabic, whether you know it or not, is the original language of the people on our planet. And it was the original language that we spoke before we were brought into the Western Hemisphere, into America by the European slave trader. So the language we speak today, English, is not the language of our native people. It is the language of the colonizer, the slave master, the European. And whenever we greeted each other before the English language was adopted, we always greeted each other, and the disciples of Jesus greeted each other with the words or salutation of peace, salam. So when you hear us say, Assalamu alaikum, that's Arabic, which means peace be unto you. We're honored to be with you, and as Brother Carey shared, we apologize for those of you who have been here for maybe a half hour or so as we were waiting for other groups to come from the different parts of the city. I'm visiting Kansas City from the city of Chicago, that is the headquarters of the Nation of Islam. And as Brother Carey shared with you, you may not be familiar with Minister Louis Farrakhan, but you certainly have heard the names Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, and Louis Farrakhan comes from that same class of men that were made by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the leader of the Nation of Islam. I am one of the sons of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I serve as Minister Louis Farrakhan's National Assistant Minister. Each of you are very special. You are special not because your mother sees you as that. That's good. You are special not because your family sees you as that. You are special because though you and I come from our mothers, we really come from God through our mothers. God is the author of this life. He gave you your and my eyes. Mama didn't give it to you. It is the author of this life that gave us these ears, this mouth, the nose, the body. He formed each of us in the womb of our mothers and brought us forth for a purpose. And the human being, from the time of birth, from the cradle to the grave, is seeking to discover the meaning of life, and each of us are seeking to know what is my purpose in life, and each of us are seeking peace and security. You are a great, if not the greatest, generation that black people have produced since we were brought over here in the holds of ships. You all know that we are descendants of slaves, but you are descendants of God. All of us know, or should know, our history.
That's right.
That we did not immigrate over here like the Europeans, the Polish, the Italians. We didn't settle over here like they, looking for an opportunity to make a better life for themselves. We're not here like our Latino brothers and sisters that come across the border from lands that they were born on. All of the different ethnic groups have come to America to seek a better living. We did not come to America from Africa seeking a better living. We didn't immigrate over here. We were taken from our native land and our native people and made slaves. And the difference between the Asians or the Arabs and the Europeans, the Latinos that have come over here, all of them come over here having their own identity, coming from lands of their own people, and each of them have settled over here, and they, unlike us, appear to have gotten out of the system what they need for their survival. We've been here longer than any of them. 2024 marks 469 years that black folk have been in America. That's a long time, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And it's a long time for people to continue to be seeking what the enemy or the oppressor have not given to us, though we have served this country and served them faithfully.
Yes, sir.
But to this very day, we still don't have the freedom that they said they gave to us through the Emancipation Proclamation, and we're still seeking justice to this very day. And it appears from the statistics that you gave me of the homicides here in Kansas City with the killing, which is the same all over the country, Chicago, Detroit, St. Louis, wherever you go, we lead in the murder rate. And it's not just murders and killings in our community by gang violence. We now are killing each other over disagreements, arguments, domestic violence. So the murder rate is high in our community, but you don't find that in the other communities.
Yes, sir.
Why do you think that is so?
Good question.
Why is it that when we disagree with each other, when we have our beefs with each other, why do you think we in our community will resort to a weapon to take down our own brother or our own sister? Why do you think that's so? Do you ask the question why there's so much killing in our community and we don't see it in the other communities? Have any of you asked that question? Have you ever wondered why that is so? Do any of you think you know why that is so? Take a shot at it. Brother Willie, I just met you. Why do you think we fight each other? Why is it that we're killing each other?
Certain influences, like music, certain music that we listen to that influence this in that type of way.
Very good. Yes, sir.
From my perspective, it started in the 70s when they started, after the Vietnam War, they started separating the black man from the household. So therefore, the single household woman, she has to raise her son by herself now. So now she only influenced them to tell them how to be a man, can't show them how to be a man. So when they go out into the world and face with men, I only know to go off your emotions. So therefore, whatever my emotions takes me, that's what it is. And so you have this trickle down effect of young boys who are just going off the emotion, teaching each other. That's where you get the gangs from the Crips to the Power Rouge, and all of them. There's no real man who is guiding them. It's more or less, we gonna feed our own, after the rest. It's real tribalistic, but it's been trickling down since the 70s. And, well, Rockaway is right on time, so.
What is your name?
My name is Kurt.
Curtis. Great answer. So we got influences that shape, mold, and program our behavior. And we also have the absence of father or the male role in leadership, in our community, in our home. I saw your hand.
Yeah, I was really, he was covered, I was thinking it's like, we really grew up in a more conflicted household, seeing like a lot of other races, not like, but that's just what it is. So, we carry that with us. And as men, like you said, I mean, we really talk, not even talk, but like our natural instinct, like if somebody comes at us angry, we respond with anger, or something like that, like come with disrespect, we respond with disrespect. It's hard to, you know, especially if you grew up seeing it.
I think it just comes down to seeing how the village and the home was dismantled. And there's no awareness when it comes to self, God, or even our history and culture. So without no foundation, everything's gonna crumble regardless.
All of your answers are great and correct. Now let's go to the root of it. What is at the root of our anger as young men and women? What is at the root of that frustration and that anger? And we become enraged. What's at the root of it? Disappointment. Because each of us, when we were a little shorter, when we were young, we had an expectation. And when those expectations are not met and fulfilled, then that produces what? Disappointment. Because disappointment is unfulfilled what? Expectations. Now you hit something that's at the core. The absence of the man, the absence of leadership. And how did that come to be? How did that come to be? How is it that our families are so broken? How is it that we, as men, have abandoned our responsibility and we lay down with a woman and a child is produced from that relationship or union? And though I, as a man, know instinctively, nobody has to tell me that I'm responsible for this child, but I wasn't preparing for that when I fell in love with the girl. And in the act of sex and getting the pleasure, the girl is pregnant. I'm not yet ready. I'm not yet prepared. I'm not yet in a position to really handle the responsibility. I may not have the economics. I don't have a job, or if I have a job, but the point is I was not prepared for that, right? And what does the man do? He runs from that responsibility. But a child now is born. A child now is in the world. And every child needs both mother and father. And when it comes to men, as Brother Curtis said, all of us as men need a man to know what it is to be a man. But from the early days of slavery, did you know that the slave master breeded us like animals? And when a child was born, that child was taken and then sent to other plantations. Children were sold as fully adult men and women were sold. So the separation of family has its root in slavery. And fathers were separated from their children. Children were separated even from their mothers and fathers. So the root of this is in how the oppressor has structured things, designed things. He's created a system. And while I'm on that, see, the circumstances that we are wrestling with, struggling with, these are circumstances that we did not create. So all of us are victims of circumstances that we did not create. And it makes it difficult for us to operate and function because you're in a world, you're in a society, you're in a system, and you don't understand why things are the way they are. So we have to understand, as you just said, the history. We have to have the knowledge. And when you understand how the circumstances that each of us live under, are subjected to, came about, it broadens your understanding. Then you start to make yourself an agent of change and not be the effect of a cause that you did not create. You become now the cause to produce a different effect, and you now create a new circumstance. But you can't create a new circumstance until you understand the circumstances that was created for you. Does that make sense?
Right.
So that's why knowledge is the most important thing for any of us to acquire. I'm not talking about knowledge from the classroom, because all of that education is also designed to limit you and keep you as a part of the system. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that the greatest knowledge that one could acquire is the knowledge of self, and the knowledge of God. And when you have that knowledge, then the circumstances, no matter whether or not you were born in them or not, you now can expand your sphere or circumstance of activity, because your knowledge now is a more comprehensive knowledge of things. Does that make sense? So knowledge of self. Who are you? Where do you come from? Who is God? Is God in my life? Why should I even be interested?
Come on now.
In knowing God? All of these things are important to your life journey. Now, you are so great.
Come on.
And guess what? The society and the system also knows how great you are, Brother Willie.
That's right, that's right.
And each of you. They also know that there is a prophecy that the slave will become the master in the house where he was sold in bondage. That's why the influences, what's your name? Eric? That's why all of these influences that you are exposed to are programming you and me and us really for self-destruction.
That's right.
It's in the music. But that just didn't happen. Now we can say you're talented, naturally an artist is going to write lyrics based upon what? The reality of the life that he lives. But the enemy that controls the system, he has another aim.
Right.
He wants us to turn against ourselves. Therefore, he promotes what we lend our ear to. The video games, would that also be a source of influence?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Now, when you spend hours and hours on Call of Duty, what's the other one?
Madden 25.
Well, now Madden, you know, you know, and NCAA, what is it, 4K now? You know, that's sports, that's cool. But the other stuff,
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft, but
Ghost Recon.
Call of Duty, what's the other one? That's shooting. The main one is Call of Duty. Did y'all play that?
Rainbow Six, Fortnite.
Yeah, now there you go, Fortnite. Now after a while, I mean, look, that requires skill, right? You're aiming, right? And it's either you kill or get killed, right? Now imagine that program. Weapons are in our hands.
That's right.
Illegal weapons. And there was a time where the enemy never will allow weapons to fall in the hands of black people for fear that because of what he did to us, we would take that weapon and what? Use it against him.
That's right.
But now, the black community is inundated with weapons, meaning he feels safe because he knows that he's programmed us against ourselves and we will never use that weapon against him. We're going to use that weapon against us. Just think about the time of the Night Riders. Think about the KKK. Think about even how the slave master would just violate our women, rape our women. They were the killers of us. Now we have become our own worst enemy. We have become the predators. We have become the violators of our women. We have become the rapists. We have become the killers. And the worst part about it is we can get upset when the police kill one of ours.
True.
Right?
That's right.
Their vigils in the community, we go out, we protest, this is wrong. Police shot down one of our brothers. But what's worse? What they do to us or what we're doing to each other?
Come on, yes, sir.
Do you know in the worst days of slavery, we never turned against each other?
Come on, man.
So today, now, we're killing each other. We're doing all of this to each other. So we've been programmed. That's what I want you to see. We've been programmed to be killers, murderers, robbers, thieves, for the destruction of our own people. You cannot allow the system to use you as a pawn and make you into an instrument and agent of the destruction of your own people, your own community, and your future.
In the name of Allah, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the beneficent, most merciful master of the day of judgment in which we now live. Thee alone do we serve, and thee alone do we seek for help. Guide us on the straight path, the path of those upon whom thou hast bestowed favors, not of those upon whom wrath is brought down, nor of those who go astray.